Awesome. All right, guys, so we're gonna start out with a little great stretch, right? So we wanna come down onto our mats. We'll start off, again, with that sort of low, that lunge, right? If you need to put that knee down, that's okay. My hands are on the inside of my knee. So my knee is here, my hands are on the inside, and we're going for 5, right? So I want you looking at those fingertips, and I want you coming down for 5 rotations. I want you to hold at the top, and don't forget to breathe. Yep, get your 5. Really feel that in your rear hip. When you have your 5, bring the knees down and switch legs. Oh, wow. Rotate up. Look at those fingertips at the top. Feel that in the rear hip. And breathe. Get your 5. Are you all right? Good. All right. We're going to come down to our 90-90. So we're going to have 1 foot up front and 1 foot in the back. So it's going to kind of look like an S, right? So I've got a 90-degree knee in the front, and my leg is 90 degrees right behind me. So I want to try to stand tall, so bring this leg out further.
As far as it's gonna go.
No, keep going straight up. There you go. Yep. So nice 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. And we just want to collapse forward. So you want to come down as far as you can in your range of motion. Take a big deep breath. Come on up. And then we want to do that 4 more times. So we want to get a really nice stretch. Try to go lower every time and come up nice and tall. Forward, bend over. So basically this is the pigeon pose, right? So we're trying to open up our hips, open up the hip crease on the right side, because my left is bent in front of me. I'm trying to open up that rear hip in the back on the left. Breathe into those stretches, get 5, and then we'll switch sides. So the way I'm gonna go is I'm gonna put my hands behind me, and I'm gonna try to shift my knees without picking up my butt off the floor. So again, you see I've got my left knee is bent, kind of going behind me. My right knee is bent up front, 90-90. And again, we're gonna fold over those hips, fold over the knees, forward. You wanna fold as low as you can. Have a big deep breath there, and then come up. And then fold again. Come on up. Get 5 here. Excellent. All right. When you're finished there, let's come on into child's pose. So we're going back onto our knees. If you need a pillow, you need, any kind of cushion, go ahead and do that. So we're coming into child's pose. So basically your knees are gonna be shoulder width apart. Your feet are gonna be just about touching. And you're gonna sit back into that. So give yourself a nice big stretch. So big wide knees, get those toes kind of closer to each other. So bring your toes in. So my toes are close together, and I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna reach my hands out forward and just drop my head to the mat. Now what I want you to do is I want you to actually come up into all fours, right, and kind of rock forward and then rock back. I want you to rock those shoulders just over your wrists and then rock back. So kind of like something a little baby would do. Back and forth, that they're just trying to start crawling. Keep the tummy nice and tight. Keep your belly tight. So we're just kind of, again, we're opening up those hips. Now what I want you to do is kind of go in a big circle. So I want you to make circles around your wrists, right? So we're taking those hips. My shoulders are coming up around my wrists. and my hips are going in this big circle. I'm going in one direction for 5, and then I'm gonna switch directions for another 5. How you doing there? Good.
Okay, why?
And go the other direction if you haven't switched already. So big circles. And don't forget to breathe. Again, the belly's nice and tight. Go to your range of motion. And then when you're done with your 5 there, come on back to a regular tabletop. Again, your wrists are underneath those shoulders. And now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna pick up, so you're gonna fold those heels under. So my toes were facing the floor, now my heels are facing up. So I've untucked them, and I'm gonna lift, and I wanna rotate, right? So I really wanna kind of almost externally rotate this heel, right? So I kind of wanna go back and forth. So actually what I'm doing is I'm internally rotating my hip, and I'm sending my heels out to either side. So my left foot is going towards my left hand, coming up, and my right foot now is coming up towards my right hand. So do that 5 on either side. So again, I'm trying to bring my foot up this way, around towards my hand. And I want you to feel that internal rotation on the hip. And Moro, if this is too much for you, because I know you've had that hip replacement, just do the best you can, guys. It's just kind of like another good stretch on those hips. So get 5 on either side there. Nice little internal rotation. And then we're all gonna come down to our back. We're gonna do a little figure 4. So we're gonna come down to the back, and we're gonna put that right ankle on the left knee. This is the one where we're gonna lift that leg and pull it into our body. So again, right ankle's over the left knee. If you can elevate that left leg, grab it with your hands, relax the head on the floor, and hold that. Hold that for a good 5 breaths. Big deep breaths, and try to pull it closer to you. If you can't pull it, that's okay. Keep your left foot on the floor and just push that right knee out. Switch legs after you get about 5 breaths. Oh, so good for the hips. So I like to rock a little bit while I'm on my back, just kind of side to side. Again, deep breaths, breathe into that. Good job, Dwight. I see you rocking back and forth. Excellent. Nice job, guys. All right, let's see. Oh, there's Big Tom. Look at you. Good job. Well done, guys. Grab a sip of water. We're going to start some drills. So we're doing some hip mobility drills today.
You can't get up. Yeah, he's on the
All right, we're gonna go back down to the ground. So
stay down here.
We're gonna start off with a simple leg raise, right? So we're gonna be flat on our backs. And again, I want you to, so flat on our backs and try to tip your belly button to your spine. So make sure you're in that like neutral pelvis, because typically when we lay on our back, we've got like a big S curve in that low back. So we really want to try to keep our belly button flat to our spine. And I want you to lift one leg. I want you to see how far you can lift that leg without touching it. And if you're realizing that like, hey, my hamstrings are super tight, you know, I'm not getting my leg up that high, the other leg, because I see somebody, their other leg is popping up. So Let's try the other leg, see how far that goes up without bending. See if you can get to 90 degrees. My husband definitely cannot. Flex that foot. And if you're realizing this is super tight, you know, again, my other leg is popping up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay in this position. And what I want you to do is pull that right knee in. So your left knee is flat on the ground, left leg is flat on the ground. The right knee you're gonna pull in. We're gonna pull that in really tight. I want you to hold that for a good 5 seconds, and then I want you to release the hands and hold it. And we're gonna hold that for 20. So hold it there for 20 seconds. And it's hard, my hip flexors are burning right now. Breathe through that again, keep pushing your low back into the floor, and hold that right hip flex, hold that right knee up as high as you can, foot is flexed, 2, 1, and release. Shake that out, bang it if you need to. We're gonna go to the other side. So right leg is out straight, left leg you're gonna pull in nice and tight. Foot is flexed, and we wanna hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let go, and we're gonna hold that there for another 20 seconds. And just try to, again, push your low back into the floor. My hip crease on my left side is really tight. Just try to hold it in place. Breathe. Got about 7 seconds. Try to keep that knee up as high as you can. 3, 2, 1, and relax. We got 2 more rounds of that, guys. So we're gonna grab that right leg. We're gonna bring him in and hold him for 5, 4, nice and tight. 3, 2, 1, let go, and hold it there for 20. Try to get it up higher each time. We got 10 more seconds. Keep the foot flexed, toes up to the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, 1, good, and relax. Shake it out, bang it, give it a little bang. Grab that left leg, bring it in tight to the chest, foot's flexed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let go. Keep that knee there. Keep it in place for 20 seconds. Here we go. And breathe, guys. Make sure the back is nice and flat again. The low back is flat onto the floor. You're engaging the belly. Halfway there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Rest. Shake it out. We got one more round. Woo-hoo. All right, right leg. Give him a nice big hug. Pull it in even further if you can. Maybe you're getting a little bit more range of motion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let go. And we're holding for 20. Woo. Belly's nice and tight. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Awesome. Left leg, last one. Give that leg a nice hug. Left side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go and hold it for 20. Woo! Oh, burning. Again, low back is nice and flat. We're halfway there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome, guys. Shake it out. Let's bring those knees up, mat width apart, and just drop the knees side to side. So some big windshield wipers on those knees. Let's get about 6 each side. Oh. Stretch those hips a little bit. Nice, good. All right, we're gonna come up into a half kneeling position. So we're gonna do like a front hip flexor stretch. So again, if you need a little pad for your knee, that's fine. So half kneeling stance. So what we're gonna do here is a nice quad stretch. Actually, I'll switch legs. So my left leg is up, my right leg is down. So we want a really nice tall torso, right? So shoulders are relaxed, glutes are engaged, and I really want that belly tucking, so you're basically tucking your pelvis. Neutral pelvis, we've talked a lot about this. The body's nice and tall and it's flat. So basically I'm already feeling, because I've tucked my pelvis, engaged my core, I want to also make sure I'm not flaring like this. So we want to make sure that everything is really nice and straight. You even want to hold your chest, you can. And I'm just going to slightly push forward. I'm not arching my back. I'm not doing anything with my arms. I'm just pushing forward a slight bit. So I really feel this. I feel it pulling on my knee a little bit, but mostly it's right through my quad. So that is because it's pulling right into your hip flexor. I always think of the hip flexor as like that kind of garter belt between like your abs essentially and like your quads, right? So it's literally, it's exactly what it does. It flexes the hip, it extends it straight down and helps it come back up. So we're getting just some good sort of pulsing right here. And then I want to switch legs. So we're going to the left side. We're going to do this again. We'll go 3 on either side. Get into your neutral pelvis, relax the shoulders, right? So nice tall body. You're probably already going to feel that stretch when you get your hips into neutral spine, and just a little bit of a pulse forward. Again, torso's tall, not arched, and we're just sliding forward ever so slightly. Again, I'm feeling a huge stretch in that quad. Woo! You don't feel anything? Tuck your pelvis. So, well, it's not if you're not feeling it. No, I don't mean just suck it in, but I mean take your belly button. And it's not like this, John. It's like, sorry guys, lover's quarrel. Obviously, I need to work on pelvic tilting with my husband. That will be another day. All right, so let's go back to our first position, right leg. And we're going to stretch there again. What I'd also like to do is actually, let's bring one arm over that bended knee. So if your right leg is down, right arm is going to go up over that knee. Now try to keep everything nice and straight. Again, no arching, but our arm is just over our head. So now I'm getting a stretch down through my side, my lateral side, also into my hip, my outside hip, my lateral hip, and into my hip flexor. Awesome. Switch sides. We're just going to go back and forth here a couple of times. We really want to just open up those hips. So again, tuck the pelvis, feel that pull in the quad, stretch over your, I don't want your abs flared, I don't want an arch in the back, I want a nice flat back, and I want you to just reach for that ceiling as you, again, pulse forward ever so slightly. Get 5 there on this side. Good, awesome. All right, one more time around, right back to the right knee. And then we're gonna go back into that leg raise and test and just kind of see if anything has really kind of helped open that up. All right, so we're back here, neutral spine, our ribs are down, right? Our shoulders are relaxed, arms are up, or one arm is up, just reaching ever so slightly. Instead of just getting a front hip stretch, I'm getting a little bit more of a lateral stretch there. My TFL. Gary, I'm sure that Karen's done this one for those tight hips that she's got. Let's switch legs. Last one on the left side. Tip the pelvis, feel that stretch. Woo, baby. A little bit taller. Yep. Neutral spine. reach, and pulse. Man, I feel this one worse than I did before. Just ever so slightly driving my body forward. I can really feel that in the quad. But again, my ribs are down, my belly button is tucked to the spine. Woo, yeah. Awesome. When you're finished there for about 5 rotations, come back down to the floor on your back. Lay flat. And let's see if we can get a little bit further on that leg raise. Maybe it feels a little bit easier. For me, it might feel, you may get like 3 degrees. There may be nothing, but you know what? This is just the first time we've done this. So lower and let's try the other side. First time we've done this, totally okay. This is the kind of thing we could do a couple times. You could do a couple times a week. You could do once a week. Awesome, good. And maybe again, you might have felt a little bit more there on the second test or retest. Let's come on up to standing. I'm just gonna hold my mat for a second. So to kind of stretch that all out, we're gonna get some hip cars. If you have your golf club and you want to use that as sort of a help, if you have a wall, that's fine too. But we're just gonna get 10 on either side. We're gonna kind of incorporate everything we just did, right? So we're gonna lift and rotate. But we wanna try to keep top of the body nice and quiet. So none of this wobbly, crazy stuff. So again, if you need a helping hand, that's fine, put it on the wall. But we wanna try to keep the torso, the upper body nice and quiet. So I'm gonna check on you guys, get 10 going. I'm just gonna check on everybody's form and see how you're doing. Tom, I was gonna say, put that club down on the floor so you're using that, yes, as stability. Perfect. That's it, that looks better. Hey, Roger. Roger's got the banister, perfect, good. Good job, guys. When you get 10 on one side, go to the other. So try to bring that knee up as high as you can. So we did all of that work in that hip. Yep, and it might burn a little bit here after a bit. Get your 10 and then shake it out, grab some water. We're going back down to our mat. Actually, no, we're gonna stand. We're not gonna go back to our mat. So grab some water and then we're gonna do some abductors, abductors. I'm just gonna grab something really quick. Grab it like a can of soup to kind of show them. All right, guys. So not everybody has a can of soup right handy right now. So when you do this again, maybe get up on the couch. Hey, go on. Go on. Yeah. It's not food for you. So the reason I did this is because I just kind of want to elevate the foot to sort of start out with. Today, for today's purpose, you don't need that. We can just abduct from where you're standing. But if you want to try this with a soup can or a yoga block, something to already start elevating your foot from as a progression after today, right? So for today, we'll start out. You can use your golf club again, hand on the wall, but we just want some abduction. So again, you can put your hand on that right hip. Let's get 10 on either side here. Foot is flexed. So that standing leg is doing a lot of work. Squeeze the glutes in both of those legs and try to keep your body nice and still. So I'm gonna check on you, kind of see how everybody's doing. Less wobbly, Roger. Oh, yeah, so hang on to the wall, hang on to your golf club, and really try to raise higher with each time that you abduct. When you get 10, go to the other side. So again, you start out with your yoga block or your can of soup, and you go from there and return to your normal. So that would just be, we're elevating from that spot to start off with a little bit higher. And we want to make sure that we're nice and tall. We're not totally cockeyed. We've got a nice straight spine. And you're lifting right out to the side. So that's abduction. So you're gonna feel that. It's kind of like your classic, like Jane Fonda lifting on your side. So when you're done with your 10, shake it out, and then we're going down to the mat. Get up here, there's nothing for you. All right, so we're gonna be on our sides. So now we're kind of doing a Jane Fonda. So the top leg, so I'm on my right side, and my top leg, I'm gonna kind of curl in. So my knee is up, and my foot is flat on the ground, and I'm gonna hold on to that foot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna adduct, AD, so we're gonna use the inner thighs this time to lift our leg. And because I'm gonna hold this leg down in place, it's gonna give me a little bit better stability. So I'm gonna lift and lower. So you're gonna feel that right hip. If you need a pillow or a double mat underneath that right hip, you probably, you can absolutely do that for a little bit more stability. Or if you're on a nice carpet, that might be easier too. We'll get 10 here, abductions.
Nope.
We'll get 2 more right here. Good. And let's switch sides. So hopefully you'll feel that on your inner thigh. What is wrong with you? I think my husband's broken. All right, so we're holding that foot, and I really want you to squeeze the inner thigh. So the inner thigh is gonna come up. If we just did that without any kind of resistance, you'd still feel that inner thigh contract. So we're bringing our foot over the front. If you can't, do the best that you can and just lift. I'm not getting very high, but I am feeling the resistance in my inner thigh. But I'm also feeling it in my hips. I'm feeling it in the hip on the floor. I'm actually feeling it in my right hip right now as I'm lifting.
Yeah, there it is.
So get that foot facing this way.
I can't because then I'm gonna lift it up so high. See?
That's okay.
That's as high as I go with it.
That's all right. I want you guys on your hips too, not on your butt. I want to make sure that you're literally on the side of the body. And we're on the arm is in a 90 degrees, so that elbow is just underneath the shoulder, and get your 10 here, and then relax. And then we're gonna go back to our adductors, and we'll come all the way around one more time. And if you're here, holler.
I'm here.
You are.
I just got on. What's up?
Hi. All right.
It's a funny picture coming in without any context and seeing a bunch of men on the ground doing Jane Fonda.
All right, well, we're gonna run through, we're just gonna get one more adductor and ab-duction, if that's cool with you, and then everybody should switch over to Justin.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll finish we're gonna stand for our adductors, or ab-ductors, sorry. So we're gonna do our 10 on either side. When you're ready, get your hands either on your wall, on your railing, on your golf club. And I want you to lift as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes, core is tight. Try to keep your body nice and stable and supported, right? Slow. This isn't super fast class. Nice and slow and controlled. So again, we're trying to stay up nice and tall. We don't have our bodies crooked, right? Get 10 on either side, and then, or 10 on the right side, and then switch and do 10 on the left. 8, 9, 10. Good. Awesome. And then we'll get down to the ground. If you need to take a sip of water, go right ahead. We'll do those adductors, like A, D is in dog ductor. All right, so we're on one side. Our elbows are in a 90-degree position. If you need to go down lower, that's totally fine. If you want to kind of lay flat on your side, that's okay too. Whatever works for you. Get that foot over the front if you can. Yep, and then you're just gonna lift and lower for 10. But again, try to keep your body nice and tall. Belly button is nice and belly is tucked in. Belly button to the spine. And squeeze, really squeeze that inner thigh. Squeeze and breathe. When you're finished on your one side, hit the other side. Last one. No.
New video.
Hold me down.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
All right.
Look at me go.
All right, guys. So when you're finished, what I want you to do is I'm going to mute, and then want you to find Justin and pin him for your speaker view, or he'll hopefully pop up in the speaker view. So great job today. Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to Justin to finish up the class.
All right, guys, ready? Everyone give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go back, grab your iron, whatever you want. We're gonna go back through what we did the last time with some variation to it, but the idea is I want you to we introduced some of the movements last time. Hopefully this time we'll get them a little bit better, kind of feel what we're supposed to feel. So we're gonna start on the ground. We're gonna go into you're gonna lay flat on your back. So start just flat on your back. Now, when you're laying flat on your back, your feet are pointed to the ceiling. And what I want you to try and do when you lay flat on your back is you're gonna try and crush your hand down to your spine down to the ground. So if there's any space underneath your back, I want you to kind of tilt your pelvis a little bit, engage your abs, and you should feel like your lower back is plastered right onto the ground. All right, from there, you're gonna straighten your legs out without moving anything else other than one leg at a time. We're just gonna slowly start to raise one leg and then bring it back down, one at a time. So one leg at a time. Now, as you're going through, I'm gonna talk you through what I wanna see. The first thing is I see a lot of bent knees here. I want everyone to try and straighten your knee as much as you can. Your range of motion is going to decrease, and that's okay, but you should feel it in your hamstring. So you have a straight leg, your knee is straight. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to pull your toe towards your nose. So you're gonna pull your toe straight up. Now, then you're gonna really feel it even more in your calf and your hamstring. So you can do it, you can switch sides, or you can do about 10 on each side. The idea here is not to use momentum. I don't want you flinging your leg all the way up in the air. What we're trying to do is control the core and use your abs to kind of lift your leg and lower it straight down. So you can alternate. I want you to try and do about 10 on each side. And when you're done, just take a break. So remember, so I'll talk to you guys through it. Your abs should be engaged. And when I say engaged, what I mean is just think about someone's gonna punch you in the stomach. Your back should be flat on the ground. Your knee should be straight, and your toe should be pulled straight up. Once you've gotten to about 10 on each side, take a break and we'll go through the next progression. So the next progression is it's going to look very similar, but now instead of starting with your feet on the ground, you're going to start with your legs in the air. So both legs are going to be in the air. You're going to take your golf club and you're going to put it onto your thighs and apply a little bit of pressure. And then we're going to slowly lower one leg at a time and raise it back up. So you should be, same idea, your knee is straight, your back is flat, one leg at a time, but you're gonna start with both. Hey, Dwight, go ahead and take both, there you go, good. Yep, start with your legs in the air, good job, Gary. Now put the pressure on one leg. Big Tom, go ahead and straighten those knees out if you can. Good. And lower one leg at a time. And you're going to get about 5 or 6. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging. And hey, Drew, try to keep the knees straight if you can. Good. There you go. Good. Take about 5 on each side and then take a break. Perfect. All right, now we're going to go into that rotation one that we tried last time. So you're going to stand your back. You're going to grab your club. Your club is going to be overhead now here. So your feet are on the ground, knees are bent. The club is up overhead. We're going to rotate our knees to one side and the club to the other. And then we're going to bring it back. So our knees are going to go one side, our club is going to go to the other, and we're going to try and touch the ground. Now I want you to be slow and controlled and control the motion. So this is that separation between upper and lower. So I want you to rotate your arms to the right, your knees to the left. Your knees to the left, your arms to the right. Ideally, perfect world, your club will touch the ground and your leg or knee will touch the ground on the other side. Don't strain too much. If you feel a little stretch, that's good. But if you feel like a big strain in your lower back, just decrease the range of motion. But remember, this is that separation from upper to lower. So as you initiate a downswing, you have your lower body ideally is kind of moving first, and your upper body is kind of waiting and going second. After you do about 10, take a break. Good. Now, let's do a little bit of a different variation so we can focus more on the upper body rotation. So this time what you're going to do, it should be significantly easier. Go ahead and stay in the same position. Just bring your knees together so they're touching. So now your knees are touching. The club's going to go overhead. Don't move your knees. They're going to stay. Just rotate the upper body. So this is really separating your lower back and your core from your mid back. So it might not feel like a ton of motion, and that's okay. We're going to try it here, and then what we'll do is actually take the club away in a sec to make it a little more challenging. But now it's just abs straight ahead, belly button pointed to the ceiling, rotating through your upper quarter, your rib cage, your mid back, you know, all of that type of stuff. So you're just up, so you're on your back, and then you're just rotating your body around. So on your back, rotate. Now, if that's really easy, stay in the same position, but take the club away. So now once the club is away, hands above your head, put your hands together. Same thing. So now you're going to rotate through your body, feeling it all through your mid-back. Knees stay straight and just rotating through the mid-back. So you might not be able to go too far here, and that's okay. Good. Again, extra credit here is take the arch out of your lower back. So plaster your lower back to the floor. That's going to force your abs to be a little bit more engaged. And it's going to take any of that extension out of your lower back. All right. Very good. Now, when you're done with that, you did about 8 to 10 on each side. We're going to go into that kneeling position, half kneel we call it. So I don't care which leg you start with, but you're going to have one knee down and 1 foot up. So it's going to be 1 leg down and 1 foot up. So half kneeling or kneeling. I'll show you from a few different angles. Now I'm going to show you, exaggerated bad posture will be this. So right now, if I'm exaggerating a bad posture, my low back is arched and I feel a stretch in my hip, that's not what I want. You should start in a position where you're neutral. So neutral means your knee is driving into the ground and you should feel your right butt cheek squeezing. So that's neutral. So I'm relaxed and now I'm squeezing my butt cheek. Okay, so now from there, once you find neutral, we're going to go into like a hip hinge exercise. So I'm neutral here. Now watch what I do. I sit my butt back to my foot. My chest starts to come down. Then I stand up and squeeze. When I squeeze, I feel the front of my thigh stretching. I squeeze the back of my glute. So sit my hip back, come up. Sit my hip back and come up. So you should be, the 2 big things for me right now are push your butt back behind you, stick your butt out, and don't be afraid of your chest coming down. So sit your butt back and stand up. Good. Good. Roger, try to stick your butt back even more, like go back. There you go. And when you go up tall, squeeze your butt cheek. Perfect. Good. Greg, don't be afraid for your body to come down and your chest goes down to the ground. That's okay. So let your chest bone come down and sit. You keep going. Go, go, more, more, more. Good. Now stand up. There you go. Good. Good job, Gary. Good job, Drew. Excellent. Good job, Big Tom. Good. And now when you get to about 10, switch sides. Same thing. So you're in half kneeling. You should feel a slight stretch in the front of the hip. Hinge your hips back. Good. Good. Gary, go back even further. Back, back, back more. There you go. Good. Now stand up tall and squeeze. There you go. Good. Good job. Roger, that's way better on this side. This side looks good. When you go back to the other side, though, remember what this feels like because you should feel the same thing. But you're sitting back much better on this side than on the other side. So you should feel potentially a stretch and then a squeeze. Good. Good. And now once you get to 10, we're going to do both knees down. Same thing. So just as a visual for you guys, if I have my club, you don't need to do it, but if I have my club on my back, 3 points of contact, 1, 2, 3, that shouldn't move. I'm going to sit my hips back towards the wall, and then I'm going to squeeze and hinge and squeeze, hinge and squeeze, hinge and squeeze. This is a deadlift. This is a deadlift without using your legs. This is your takeaway. This is how we avoid early extension as we come through. So getting comfortable with using your hips, this is probably one of the most important top 2 or 3 things to really get good with in your swing. Again, just so you guys kind of understand the movement patterns, we're going to do the same thing standing like we did last time. We're going to do the hinging or deadlifting, and it's the exact same motion just from a standing up position. So you should feel very similar. And when you get to about 10 here, you're going to stand up. And when you stand up, now I want you to grab your club, and we're going to actually put it on our back for 3 points of contact. So what I want it to be is, it should be on your head, your mid back, and your lower back, and it should be connected there. Now, to get some shoulder mobility with it, I have one arm up, one arm down. If your arms are really far forward, just think about opening up your shoulders a little bit. So if you feel like your shoulders are kind of forward here, just open them up. You should feel a stretch there. Now, we're gonna go same movement pattern here. Unlock your knees, and then from there, we're gonna sit our butt back. and stand up tall. Sit our butt back and stand up tall. Good. Good job, Greg. Good job, Gary. Drew, nice job. Yeah, really good. So you saw we did a half kneeling position. We hinged our hip back. We did a double kneeling position. We hinged our hip back. We're standing up. We're hinging our hip back. So just to show you guys what this means, if you start looking at golf videos, you know, the down the line view, what they're looking at is they draw when you're in your setup posture, they draw a line. And then what they're looking for is as you come through your swing, does your butt stay behind that line? If when you come through, you stand straight up, that's called early extension, and it leads to either you can block the ball or you can get back pain. So why does this matter? Because we're trying to get you guys to a point where you feel like this is a normal motion, where when you come down in your downswing, your butt goes back and stays behind the line. So if this feels foreign to you, there's obviously no chance you're doing it in your golf swing, right? So let's do another set of this and just kind of picture this should be a feeling that you have on your downswing. Now again, so think about this as you work through it, I'll talk through it. This is, you're moving right now in one plane of motion. You're going front to back. And so if this is challenging, there's no chance that as you try to add a rotation and then you try to hit that little white ball that you're going to do it. So it's got to become second nature when you're doing it here so that you've got a shot to do it when you're playing. And so just think about it too, for you guys that take lessons, this is one of those things that they might tell you to sit your hips back, but if you don't have this motion and you don't have this pattern, you're going to struggle to be able to do it. So really being able to sit your hips back. You know, the other thing so just so you know where you should feel this, it shouldn't be in your lower back. You should feel potentially hamstring stretching, and then when you come back up tall, you should feel your glutes squeezing. Good job, Greg. Yeah, really good. Okay, now we're gonna make it a little more challenging because you're gonna incorporate balance into this. So we're gonna do what we did last time, a single leg deadlift, so same motion pattern, but you're gonna hold the club head in your hand and put the butt of the club on your leg. And so you're gonna stay connected here. And then what we're going to do is, so I have it touching my right leg, I'm gonna move through my left leg and do a single leg deadlift. Sitting back and hinging. So right now I'm on my left side, I'm connected on my right with the club, and I'm sitting my hip back, and then I'm standing up tall. And then I'm sitting my hip back, and then standing up tall. All right, let's do 10 on each side. Good job, Gary. So if you, just to give you a variation, no, we don't have the chair today, but that's okay. Just to show you guys, if you really struggle with balance, one of the things that you can do is grab a chair, grab anything, and then you would basically go into your single leg deadlift position, but my back foot will just be on a chair, and I would just hold this for balance. And you can hold this for 30 seconds to a minute. Now, I can do a couple variations. So I have my leg down and my back foot up. I can, if I need the balance, I can use the club and just kind of use it for balance, and I'm gonna hold. If I feel great, then I can take the club away. So I'll show you from a different angle. So I'm single leg balance, my back foot is on the chair, and I'm holding that position. and then I'm balancing from there. Now, again, just kind of showing you guys what you can do. Let's say you like that variation and that's pretty easy, and you're at home hanging out. So now the club is across my body. I have a foot on the back leg. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep my hips stable, but I'm gonna work rotation through my mid-back. And so as you're there, if you don't have a chair right now, that's fine. Then what you can do is you can just put one foot behind the other, almost go in a hinge position, and then just start rotating. So in this position, I'm kind of hinged, and I'm keeping my belly button square, and I'm moving just through my torso, my mid-back. Big Tom, put most of your weight on your front foot. So like, yeah, there you go. Now, like not, there you go, perfect, good. Less motion, so your belly button's pointed straight ahead, and you're really just doing little rotations each way. So it should only feel like, yeah, good. And what you're trying to do right now is almost separate your lower back from your mid-back. So your torso is just rotating. So it'll feel like a small range of motion. That's what it should feel like. Good, yep, perfect. So just so you guys can see, if I go in this position, and I only rotate through my torso like I want to, it's gonna be a pretty small motion. So right now I feel like my belly button is straight ahead and I'm not moving anything else, which is what we want. Now I can be sloppy with this and just kind of let everything move, but that's not what we're looking for. Don't forget the two areas where we're gonna rotate through mostly is gonna be from here to here, basically where your logo is, and then you're gonna skip a region and then you're gonna go to here. So the thing that we're making sure that you can do well is rotate through your torso, your rib cage, and then make sure that your hips kind of move well. So any of this stuff, if you're feeling it in your lower back, you're probably doing it wrong. So it'll feel like less motion than you think you should, but that's okay. Because it's that torso and then it's that hips and that hip region. Cool? Shannon, what do you got?
That was pretty much it as far as like for me, because we did a couple of things. We did a front hip stretch. We did actually like we pulled the knee in on the supine position, held it in place. So some good hip flexor stretches. And we did the leg lift, kind of just sort of test and retest. And then you saw some like, adductor, abductor, and adductor. Yep. And we did some hip cars, so just some good range of motion. And
then the other thing too, so our friend Kirk, so Kirk is a top 50 golf PGA golf fitness trainer. I just recorded a podcast with him, and then we made a specific channel on our website for exercise progression. So we'll, Shannon, we can send it out to these guys. Basically, it has 6 different like movement patterns and variations of them, from very easy to very hard, from no equipment to a kettlebell. So, and then it puts together a sample program. So we'll share that with you guys, and it might give you some other ideas on what to do, but it was made specifically for like now maybe you have no equipment, or maybe you have a weight, or whatever you want to do. So once we get that uploaded, we can share it with the email list, so you guys have all of it. And so now you guys got no excuses, because we've given you a lot of good stuff, and it's just kind of right now being disciplined enough to do some of it, which is I think the problem with all of us, right, Greg? So we don't drink margaritas before noon. 12.
11:59 and 40 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I figured I might get kicked out if I went to 12:02, or you might just leave to get margaritas. That's how we ended on time.
That's the 5 o'clock hour there.
Oh, perfect. All right. I thought everything got pushed up because of this. 4 or 5 hours.
I have some discipline.
Right. There you go.
A little bit.
Cool.
I think we're going to try to work on some hand-eye coordination on Monday, right? Yes.
Monday.
We're back on Monday. We're going to just kind of stay on our normal schedule, I think, and
Perfect.
We'll go from there. And I don't know, maybe Justin, what do you think? Do you think maybe Kirk would join us one time?
Yeah, sure he would. Absolutely.
That would be amazing to get a top 50 golf fitness instructor out with these guys. That'd be some legit stuff.
How about, can you get a mixologist on once?
Ooh, okay. All right. I mean,
No, 20 minutes of mixology.
20. A little bit of warm up, and then okay, we'll make some 19-hole cocktails for
Right.
I'll work on that, Greg. Thank you. I also was telling Greg about John and I have been making steel cut oats in the morning for breakfast, and then putting a little protein powder on there, whether it's your whey protein, your pea protein, and throwing some bananas. So good breakfast food to help keep you satiated through the morning and kind of like keep the belly full, and it's got some good protein in there too. So the oats are low glycemic, so they're not going to spike your blood sugar, and they're good carbs. So especially on Mondays and Thursdays when we're doing our workouts.